Oklahoma at Texas A&M. Marco, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts here because this isn't, to me, one of the top games of the week. So that means it must be a betting game, a top betting game. So what should bettors be looking at?
Well, bettors should be looking at it here. This is a fundamental matchup situation. You've got two great passing teams against two poor pass defense teams. I think there's a lot of value in the total, and that's where my play is going to come in. But there's also some angles here in the game that are very interesting that we'll discuss in this.
Okay, so you like the over, and we're going to talk about that. Is there anything about this game other than that fundamental matchup on the total you want to talk about? Because if so, let's get the projection out of the way, because I think we've got some interesting concepts to discuss that aren't really total related. Is there any other than great passing offenses, bad passing defenses, the total being a little low, is there any other reason you like the over?
No, I just don't see either team.
That's all you got to say. Give us your projection.
41-38 Oklahoma in a shootout. This thing goes over the number.
All right, now, your projections are winners, so great stuff there. Now, let's talk about it a little bit more. This line feels a little low to me. How do you break that down?
Well, the line opened at 4, which would make it over what the game we're going to compare it to. You know, whenever I talk about traps, a lot of time I'll compare another game and say, put these two teams on a neutral field. And I'm going to do that to you now. Put Texas A&M and Missouri on a neutral field. Who's the favorite?
You would have to think Missouri.
Absolutely. Plus the fact that Missouri beat Texas A&M already this year.
All right, so public perception at minimum says Missouri's better.
Right. Oklahoma's laying the same number now because it's down to 3 that they were to Missouri. That just makes absolutely...
So Oklahoma was on the road at Missouri, on the road at A&M, laying 3 in both spots.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me, so that puts up the trap alert for me. There's also revenge.
Now, let's talk about the trap, though. The way you handle traps is you actually go against the perceived value because you think it's fake value. You think it's fool's gold. So that would make you, you think the line makes you think Vegas is looking for Oklahoma action.
That's what you, on the surface, but I will put a footnote to that. When I look at this now and comparing those two games, where I would be full steam ahead and take the Texas A&M side is if Oklahoma would have indeed won on the road at Missouri laying that number. The fact that they lost makes a little bit of credence for them making a slight adjustment down on Oklahoma.
Okay. Now, revenge.
This is a huge revenge game. And I know every game there's a revenge for somebody from last year, because somebody lost, provided they played. This is a huge one for A&M because they got killed, 65-10. Anytime you get embarrassed like that, you're going to remember that game, you're going to circle it. But one thing happened in that game that makes this even more. With the score 58-10, in the fourth quarter, Oklahoma scored their last touchdown on a pass play. With the score at 58-10, there should be nothing but running plays.
All right, so this is an example of you going inside the box score, not only looking at, all right, A&M's responding to the fact they were blown out, but they're responding to the fact that it looks like the score was run up on them.
Yeah, is a coaching staff, is any team player that was on that team last year, you don't forget that last score. I'm sorry, and they're going to be highly motivated.
Oklahoma has won. They've won 7 straight and won by an average of 30 points. So this is a situation now for 7 years that Oklahoma has just dominated this team and won by 30. Now you have a major line adjustment where this is almost pick the winner, as you like to say, though I don't like to say that at 3. I like to say that at 2.5. So if I told you have a team that has won by an average of 30 points for 7 straight years, laying only 3, wow, that makes me want to take Oklahoma, which again, the question is that fool's gold?
Well, given everything we said, I've got to, put caution to that, taking Oklahoma. I don't want to just run to the revenging side of A&M because...
No, I understand. I'm just saying, though, to back up the whole idea that it looks like Oklahoma's too good to be true, is that they've won by 30 on average for 7 years. They're laying 3, 1/10 of that. I also think what people might be missing with Oklahoma is they have one of the more severe home-road splits. At home, they're almost unbeatable. On the road, they're significantly the worst team. More of a spread between their home road than most top 10 type teams like Oklahoma. And that's been a theme this week is a lot of these great college teams travel well. Oklahoma really doesn't. And specifically in this series, 10 of 12 have been covered by the home team. So that would be another reason maybe to look towards A&M a little bit.
Right.
Anything to close.
Pointing out a perfect example of the Oklahoma against a good passing team on a similar situation on a road game at Cincinnati earlier in the year, which Cincinnati wasn't really playing that well at the beginning of the year. Cincinnati gave them all they could handle in that game with their passing offense. And I see A&M, exchanging points here.
Now it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comments section with Marco and me. And next up, we're going to be breaking down the 3 biggest NFL games of the week.